thought it would be a good thing to let some of our viewers know, maybe throw out some activities that we think are very productive. And for me, I love the arts.
Okay.
Making music, instruments, painting, music, dance.
Right.
It's all about expression.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of learning. Actually, if you look it up and what it is to have kids engage through the arts, let's say just art itself, drawing and painting, it develops communication skills, problem-solving skills, social and emotional skills, fine motor skills, self-expression, and creativity.
Okay.
So it's something that, these are most of the challenges that we deal with.
Yeah.
Is to be able to take your child and engage him in something that he develops this while having fun.
Right.
Not something that's going to be too formal or too structured.
Right.
It shouldn't be. So I think the arts is a great arena for that.
Right.
Because it's fun, and at the same time they're learning so many life skills.
I'm glad that you mentioned drawing. Actually, in this book, The Whole Brain Child, it talks about allowing your child to either have the journal or like a notebook where he can write, or if he or she is not doesn't know how to write yet, where they can draw, and they can begin to draw their feelings, their ideas, the things that have happened throughout the day, and by getting it down on paper, it helps them process it and become more right, left side integrated.
Absolutely, it gives them a sense of identity.
Yeah.
Of who they are and what they're writing, and you start seeing who your child is by what they draw.
Yes.
I mean, if your child is drawing flowers with the sun and birds and a beautiful house by the beach, opposed to a kid with a gun with blood spilling out the head, you know, there's got to say something.
Yeah.
And there needs to be some attention for either or, you know, positive or reinforcing, to stay away from certain things, of course.
As we talk about being a parent that practices concerted cultivation, I'm reminded of a story about when I first realized that my youngest son has rhythm. And he was watching television standing up one day, and there was this commercial, whatever, a nothing commercial, but it's got a little, you know, jingle on it. And he started moving to the jingle very, very well, something that I would have never done myself. And that's when I realized that he's got rhythm. He hears music. Unlike me, I don't hear it. I know how to dance because I learned the moves. And so I went and got him a bongo set and so on, but we haven't been able to find somebody to teach him, but we have him there, so when we're ready, or when somebody appears, or, you know, it'll happen. But my wife then said, well, why don't we take him to dancing classes, because he loves to dance. He's starting break dancing lessons in about a month or so.
And that's the foundation of what we're talking about right there, that example, is to be able to see your child's gravitate towards something, like that jingle. It was something that made him move with nobody motivating him to do that. He did it on his own, and as a parent, being able to take that and facilitate that, and, you know, providing instruments, providing classes, so they could grow on it.
Right.
It's what's going to make. Maybe one day we'll be going to see him perform somewhere.
Right, exactly. I truly, honestly believe that if I had not been paying attention, it is something that was so subtle that I would have missed. If I had been in a real hurry, if I had not been present at home at that moment, you know, just watching them as I walk by, as I get through my morning or evening routine, if I hadn't been present and watching him and obviously the other boy, I wouldn't have caught him just moving to it, and I recognized that this is something that I don't have in me, and I said, that's it. He's a musician, or he's a dancer. He's got rhythm. That was a cool moment. I really enjoyed that moment. You know, we have to teach him everything, right? We have to teach our children everything. So then, something like going to the park, right? I mean, obviously, we don't really care about going to the park to play tag. But it is when we're spending time with them that they need certain things. For instance, they have to go to the bathroom, and when you know, a teaching opportunity, when they go to the bathroom, obviously you help teach them how to wipe their bottoms, how to properly wash their hands afterwards. Okay, when you're at the park, And then the other thing is, and there's little subtle ideas, or subtle rules that we live by, like not grabbing the handle, the door handle, with your bare hand. You know, these are key
Yes,
lessons that we teach our children. So then, after washing his hands, after drying them with a paper towel, I have taught my children to take the paper towel and use it to grab the handle and open the door. And that is something that at a very early age, my children already know. Because the door handle is very dirty.
Absolutely, and that's actually something I went through recently in the same situation in the bathroom. My son, when he uses the bathroom at times, he pulls his pants all the way down.
Right.
So that was a teaching opportunity.
Yeah.
It was, you don't have to pull your pants all the way down. Watch that how he does it, and that's one of the main reasons that fatherhood works when you live it. I can't pull my pants all the way down and say, son, you don't need to do that. Everything is done by role modeling.
Sure.
Modeling the behavior you want to see.
Yeah. I initially thought that perhaps I would be able to sit down with them when they got a little bit older, and I would be able to just spend the next half hour explaining everything. Well, that doesn't
that doesn't work too well.
Work. And that's when teaching opportunities in the term really came in handy, because I thought, okay, fine, then I won't be having to sit down. But if we're playing one of their games, it actually happens. It's very interesting. If you decide to go ahead and play cards, which by the way they don't know how to play cards, but they make up all these rules and so on. As long as if you're doing that and if you're connecting that way with them, it's really very interesting. They'll begin to open up. And you can actually ask questions and share some information with them while you're engaged in that game, that irrational game.
Yes.
And that teaching opportunity. One of the things that I do, obviously, is I bathe with them, and it's important so that they can see what it looks like when someone is bathing themselves.
Yes. So
it's one thing when you're bathing them. If you never bathe with them, they all they see is someone bathing them, or washing them, and maybe you or your wife starts teaching them how to bathe themselves. But when they're in the shower with you and they see you doing all this scrubbing, then they're going to say, oh, okay, I see. My mother was doing it this way when she was bathing me in the tub, but now I see my father doing it up there. Okay, and that's how it works. These
are the crucial areas.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. When I first started drawing and painting with my boys, I did try to help a little bit. I remember I knew from personal experience when I was a child that back when I was a kid, I didn't really want my mother helping me, because I always felt like when she did, I just wasn't being good enough. So with my children initially, I did try it. I did say, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you try that? And they did a little bit, but then they went their own way. And I said, you know what, fine. Let them do whatever they want. Here are all the different colors. Use all of the colors. Paint any which way you want. And then I would take those drawings, and I would put them up on the wall. I would just take tape, just Scotch tape, and put it up on the wall. So I don't care about the wall, man. So I have a whole wall of these things, these wonderful drawings of theirs. It doesn't matter what they look like. They started drawing on Post-its. So we put Post-its up on the wall. Does the wall look ridiculous to an adult? Yeah. Does it look absolutely awesome to a 5-year-old? Yeah, but that's it.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. And when they're in bed and you could sit back and, sit there with your wife and look at that wall and you see the development.
Yeah.
How that's going to be in a year and from now.
Right.
The progress they've made, the skills they developed. A quick quote from Jim Van Dano: "My father gave me the greatest gift, believing in me."
That's cool. Yeah, man. That's solid. Yeah, you need somebody to believe in you. You need somebody who's got your back. That's huge. Anyway, we talked a lot about that during the love conversation.
And how do you develop that? You develop that through spending time with them.
Right.
That's when they find out. It's not just when they say, "Oh, Dad believes in me." Yeah. It's through the mistakes that they make. Right. And the accomplishments that they make. That's what the arts bring too, accomplishments. Right. And identity that helps them feel that security with their father.